When my son asked, "Do you like the $5,000 Clara sends you every month?" I just stared at him. My hands went cold because I'd never seen a single dollar. I was at a noisy, overpriced brunch for Father's Day, one of those places with bottomless mimosas and a 3-hour wait. My son, Mark, had insisted. His wife, Clara, had booked it. She was all smiles, her blonde hair perfect, her nails a sharp, expensive red. She was always on. "What $5,000? I asked. I tried to make it sound like a joke, like I was a doddering old man who'd forgotten. Just before you continue to watch, Joe would like you to subscribe to this channel and like this video. It would encourage him to keep his streak of thrilling revenge stories for you to watch. All right, back to the story. Mark laughed, that big, easy laugh he got from his mother. "Dad, come on. The $5,000 from the house sale. Clara set up an auto transfer. She said it was the easiest way to get you the proceeds without you having to manage a big lump sum." I looked across the table, but Clara was gone, off to the ladies' room. My fork clattered onto the plate. The sound was too loud in my head. An auto transfer? Every month? For 10 months? That was $50,000. I just stared at the spot where she had been. My wife, Mary, had been gone for 18 months. The silence in our 3-bedroom ranch on Maple Street had become too much, so I'd agreed to sell it. It was Clara, a top-tier agent, who'd insisted on handling it. "Don't you worry about a thing, Dad," calling me Dad in a way that always felt like a performance. "I'll handle all the paperwork, the staging, everything. It'll save you the stress. The market's a little soft, so the proceeds might be tied up for a bit, but I'll make sure you're taken care of." I was so grateful. I was drowning in grief, and she was a lifeboat. She'd given me some preliminary papers to sign. I remember signing them at my new place, a small mother-in-law unit I was renting. I hadn't really read them. I trusted her. I trusted my son.
She'd told me the house sold for $450,000. A little low, I'd thought, but what did I know? She'd said that after her commission and closing costs, she'd get it all sorted and start sending me payments. The payments never came. I didn't say anything. How could I? I was living on my small postal pension and what was left of Mary's life insurance. I was eating a lot of canned soup. But I was too proud, too ashamed to call my successful son and his shark wife and ask, "Where's my money?" I didn't want to look ungrateful for all the help she was giving me. Now at this brunch, Mark's innocent question had just told me how deep the lie ran. Clara had told him she was sending the money. She had told me it was tied up. 2 different lies, one for each of us. When she slid back into the booth, all smiles and gardenia perfume, she saw the look on my face. "What's wrong?" she asked, her voice pure sugar. I looked at Mark, his face open and trusting. I couldn't do it. I couldn't blow up my son's life right here, next to the waffle bar. "Nothing," I mumbled, picking up my fork. "Just tired." Mark looked disappointed. "You should get out more, Dad." Clara just smiled, patting my hand. "He's fine. He's just happy to be with his boy." I don't remember the drive home. I sat in my small beige apartment. The walls felt like they were closing in. I was a fool. A sad old fool who'd been tricked by his daughter-in-law. But then something else kicked in. A cold, quiet anger. Mary had handled all our finances. She was the one with the head for numbers. Clara knew that. She'd counted on me being too grieving and too incompetent to notice. She'd counted wrong. I went to the closet. In the back, under a stack of Mary's old sweaters, was my old work briefcase. I pulled it out. The leather was stiff, but the brass clasps clicked open.
I wasn't just a widower. I was Frank Miller, retired U.S. Postal Inspector, white-collar crime division. I spent 30 years tracking con artists who used the mail to commit fraud. I knew how to follow a paper trail. And Clara, God bless her, had left a trail. She made one mistake. She gave me one piece of paper, the preliminary closing statement, the one with the $450,000 sale price. It looked official. I sat down at my little kitchen table. I turned on the bright overhead light, the one I rarely used because it made the apartment look so grim. I put on my reading glasses. The statement was from Clara Holmes Real Estate LLC, her own company. Of course. I went to my old laptop. It was slow. It whirred and clicked. I opened the county assessor's website. I typed in the address, 1240 Maple Street. The public record was right there. Sold 10 months ago. Sale price? $850,000. I had to read the number 3 times. My heart wasn't hammering. It just went slow and heavy. It wasn't just the $50,000 she'd been sending my son. It wasn't just the $450,000 I thought I was getting. It was everything. $850,000. She hadn't just borrowed from me. She had erased me. The $5,000 a month story wasn't for me. It was for Mark. A lie to keep him from asking why his dad was suddenly living on cat food. She never expected him to ask me about it. That Father's Day question was a 1 in a million shot, a stray bullet that hit the bullseye. I sat there, looking at the number. $850,000. I felt sick. I went to the phone, and I called one of those legal aid hotlines for seniors. A young lawyer, sounded like he was still in school, listened to my story.
He was sympathetic. He was also blunt. "Mr. Miller," he said, "I'm very sorry for what's happened. But you signed a power of attorney for her to handle the sale, correct?" "Yes," I said, "for the house. This is a very, very difficult civil matter. It's your word against hers. She'll say the $450,000 was a verbal agreement, that the $850,000 was the gross, but she had expenses. She's a real estate agent. She knows the loopholes. To fight this, to get a forensic accountant, you'd be looking at $50,000 to $100,000 in legal fees, easy, with no guarantee of winning." I had $12,400 left in the whole world. I thanked him and hung up. That was my rock bottom. I sat on my rental sofa, the one with the springs that poked me. I almost gave up. I could just fade away, let her have it. My son was happy. Maybe it was better he didn't know. Then the phone rang. It was Clara. Her voice was like honey. "Hey, Dad, just checking in. Mark said you seemed so quiet at brunch. Is everything okay?" I couldn't speak. "You know," she continued, "I've been working on those finances. The market is just so tricky, but I think I found a way to free up a little of that capital. Don't you worry your sweet old head about it. I've got it all handled." She thinks I'm a sweet old head. She thinks I'm an idiot. That's when the anger came back, the cold, quiet, patient anger. "I'm fine, Clara," I said. "Just old." "Well, that's what I'm here for," she chirped. "You just rest. I'll take care of everything." I hung up. I went back to the computer. I wasn't going to a lawyer. I was going to my old colleague, Sarah. Sarah retired from the inspector's office and became a lawyer. Not a hotshot, but a pro bono shark who specialized in, of all things, elder fraud. I met her for coffee at a diner. I brought my briefcase. I laid out the one-page fake $450,000 statement. Then I slid my laptop across the table, open to the $850,000 county record. Sarah didn't say anything. She just put on her glasses, took a long sip of her black coffee, and looked at the 2 numbers. "Frank," she said,
She's not just a bad daughter-in-law, she's a felon. The lawyer I talked to said it was a civil case, I said. The lawyer you talked to is an intern, she scoffed. He's wrong. You gave her power of attorney for the sale. You did not give her power of attorney to forge your signature on the final closing documents. And she did, Frank. I guarantee she did. She tapped the screen. $850,000. That had to go somewhere. It went to a bank. The bank received a wire transfer based on a fraudulent transaction. She didn't just commit real estate fraud. She committed wire fraud and bank fraud. The bank will care about that a lot. They don't like being used. She gave me my mission. You can't afford a lawsuit. Forget the lawsuit. You're going to build a case. Find the real closing packet, find the wire instructions, find the bank it went to, and find the forged signature. You get me that, Frank? And we don't need a $100,000 retainer. We just need a printer. I felt alive. I had a purpose. I started the next day. This was the work. It wasn't exciting. It was me at my kitchen table with a legal pad. My back hurt. My cat, Dusty, kept trying to sit on the papers and I'd have to shoo him off.
That's what fighting back actually looks like. I was hunting for $500,000 and I still had to remember to take my blood pressure medication and call a plumber about the leaky faucet in my bathroom. First, I needed the real closing packet. I couldn't get it, but the title company could. Clara's fake statement listed a Platinum Title Co. I called them. I pretended to be from my non-existent accountant's office. Hi, I'm just calling to confirm a 1099-S for a Frank Miller on the sale of 1240 Maple. The woman on the line was confused. 1240 Maple? We didn't handle that sale, sir. Click. I knew it. The title company was a fake, just like the statement. I went back to the county assessor's website. The public record had a document number. I called the county clerk's office. Hi, I said. I'm Frank Miller. I'm so sorry. My files are a complete mess after my wife passed. I'm trying to find out which title company handled my sale at 1240 Maple. The clerk was kind, a real person. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Let me look. Yes. That sale was handled by First American Title. Do you need a copy of your closing packet? We can have one sent to you. There's a $10 fee. I could have kissed her through the phone. 2 days later, a thick manila envelope arrived. I spread the documents on my kitchen table. It was all there. The $850,000 sale price, the wire transfer instructions to an account for a Clara Staging and Design LLC, an account I'd never heard of. And then the last page, the signature page. Frank Miller. It was a good forgery. A very good forgery. But she'd missed one thing. I always sign my name with a little two-stroke dash after the R in Miller. A habit from my inspector days, a small mark of authenticity. This signature didn't have it.
I was staring at the forged signature, a cold pit in my stomach, when my phone rang. It was Mark. "Hey, Dad, weird question." He sounded nervous. "Clara's office is being audited. It's just some stupid HR thing. She needs you to sign a form, just, confirming you're happy with how she handled the sale." My blood ran cold. "What kind of form?" "I don't know, just a satisfaction form. She's in your neighborhood. She said she could swing by with her iPad. Is that okay?" "She's coming here?" "Yeah, is that okay, Dad?" I looked at the forged signature on my table. "Sure, son. Send her over." I had just enough time to slide the real closing packet back into its envelope and shove it under my sofa cushion. 10 minutes later, there was a sharp knock. Not Clara's usual breezy tap. I opened the door. She was all business.
No dad, no smiles, just her in a sharp pantsuit, her iPad in her hand. "Hey, Frank," she said, pushing past me. "Mark said you were home. I just need you to sign this. It's a formality for HR." She held out the iPad. I took it. It wasn't a satisfaction form. It was a full-on legal release, a retroactive waiver. It said I, Frank Miller, confirmed I had received all proceeds and assets from the sale and that I waived all future claims, legal or otherwise, against Clara, her company, and her brokerage. She was covering her tracks. She knew, or she suspected. That Father's Day question had spooked her. I stalled. I held the iPad. My hands are shaky today, Clara. And my reading glasses, I can't seem to find them. What does it say?" I was being the confused old man she'd always believed I was. She sighed, a sharp, impatient sound. "It's nothing, Frank. It just says I did a good job. Look, it's just this one button. Just sign with your finger." I don't like signing things I can't read," I said. Her face tightened. The mask was off. "Frank, don't be difficult. Mark said you've been moping. I'm doing you a favor. I'm managing your money. I'm the only reason you're not broke. Now just sign the form." "No," I said. It was very quiet. "What?" "No. I'll have to read it later, when I find my glasses." She snatched the iPad from my hands. Her eyes were slits. "You're making a mistake, Frank. A big one." She slammed the door on her way out. I waited until I heard her car peel out of the driveway. Then I called Sarah. "She just tried to get me to sign a full legal release," I said. Sarah's reply was immediate. "She knows. She's scared. The audit is a lie. You have to move, now. Do you have everything?" "I have it all," I said. I didn't think this would end in a dramatic courtroom. I wasn't that naive. Sarah was right. The bank, the brokerage, they had the power. I went to the 24-hour Kinko's. It was 10 p.m. The place smelled like toner and burnt coffee. I made 3 identical packets. Packet 1, the fake $450,000 closing statement from Clara. Packet 2, the real $850,000 closing packet from First American Title. Packet 3, a high-resolution scan of the forged signature page. Packet 4, the wire transfer instructions to Clara Staging and Design, LLC. Packet 5, a photo I'd taken of the legal release on her iPad.
I went home. I sat at my laptop. I wasn't going to have a big, dramatic confrontation. That's TV. This was real. I drafted 3 emails. The first email went to the main fraud department address at her bank, the one that had received the $850,000 wire transfer. I'd found the address on their corporate website. Subject: fraud inquiry, forged closing documents, account, act number. The second email went to the head of HR and the CEO of her real estate brokerage. I'd found their names on LinkedIn. Subject: formal complaint, agent Clara Miller, license number XXXX, wire fraud. The third email, that was the hardest. It went to my son, at his work email, not his personal one. I needed him to see it on a Monday morning in a place of business where he couldn't just delete it. Subject: Mark, you need to see this. The body of each email was identical. I didn't get emotional. I didn't accuse. I just stated facts. To whom it may concern, please review the attached documents. They appear to show significant discrepancies regarding the sale of my home at 1240 Maple Street, which was handled by my daughter-in-law, Clara Miller. The attached documents include the preliminary statement I was given, $450,000, the final closing packet from the title company, $850,000, the forged signature page, the wire instructions to a private LLC, and a legal release she attempted to have me sign on date. Please advise. I attached the 5 files. I took a deep breath. I clicked send on all 3. Then I shut down my computer. I went to the kitchen. I made myself a cup of tea, and I waited.
Monday. I heard nothing. My apartment was silent. Tuesday. Nothing. I didn't know if this was working. My cat, Dusty, knocked a glass off the counter, shattering it. I sat there watching the water spread on the floor, my hands shaking. Maybe I'd done the wrong thing. Maybe I'd just blown up my family for nothing. I bought a new keyboard. Sent the email anyway. Wait, that's not right. My cat knocked over the glass. I just cleaned it up. My memory's I'm getting ahead of myself. The cat, Dusty, knocked the glass over. I cleaned it up. I sat there thinking, even my cat is trying to tell me this is a mess. Wednesday morning. An email. It was from the bank, a senior vice president. Mr. Miller, we have received your complaint. We are treating this with the utmost seriousness. The receiving account has been frozen. A senior investigator from our team will be in touch with you today. Do not speak with the account holder. My heart, it didn't leap. It just started beating again. Wednesday afternoon. An email from the real estate brokerage. Mr. Miller, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Ms. Miller has been suspended, effective immediately, pending a full internal investigation. Her license with the state board is under review. Our legal counsel will be in touch. I had a small, grim thought. That's the audit, the one I started. I heard nothing from Mark. This was the worst part. I waited all of Wednesday, all of Thursday. The silence from him was deafening. Had he chosen her? Was he in on it? No, I wouldn't believe that. Friday evening, a knock. It wasn't a tap, it was a pound, like police. I opened the door. It was Mark. He looked terrible. I mean, terrible. He was pale, his eyes were bloodshot, he hadn't shaved, he was still in his work clothes from maybe yesterday. He was holding a single piece of paper, the printout of my email. Dad, he said. His voice was a crackle. Mark, I said. I stepped aside. He stumbled in. He didn't sit. He just stood in the middle of my small living room, vibrating. I confronted her, he whispered. He said he got the email at work on Monday. He'd felt sick. He didn't believe it. He thought I was confused. That's the word she always used. Confused. He went home. He asked her. At first, she lied. Of course she did. It's a misunderstanding. Your father is confused. He doesn't understand finances.
Then, Mark said, his voice choking, I showed her the attachment, the real closing packet, the $850,000. He looked at me. Her face, Dad, her face just collapsed. It was like a mask fell off. She knew. She admitted it. He sank onto the sofa, the one with the bad springs. She said she borrowed it. That's the word she used, borrowed, to cover some bad investments. She was going to pay it back. She swore she was going to pay it back before anyone noticed. He laughed, a horrible, dry sound. Pay it back? With what? I asked her, what about the $5,000 a month? She told me. That was just to keep me quiet, to make me think everything was fine. Mark put his head in his hands. But it's gone, Dad. I looked. After she told me, I looked. The bank froze her LLC account, but she'd already moved most of it. She tried to... Oh, God. What? I asked, my voice flat. She drained our joint account. Yesterday. After the bank called her, she tried to cover what they were looking for. Our savings.
My paycheck. Everything. It's all gone. She stole from me, too. He looked up, and his eyes were the eyes of a 10-year-old boy, just broken. Dad, I don't know what to do. I sat down next to him. I looked at my son, my broken, manipulated, good-hearted son, the one I had failed to protect from her. I put my hand on his shoulder. It was trembling. Start over, I said. Just don't start with her. Mark moved out that night. He's staying on a friend's couch. Clara is not having a good time. The bank is pressing charges. The brokerage fired her and reported her to the state real estate board, which revoked her license. She is, as they say, under investigation.
I didn't get the money back. Not all of it. Sarah called me. Frank, she said, the $850,000, it's gone. She was into some very, very bad crypto trades. It's vapor. My heart sank. But, she said, the brokerage, they're terrified. Their liability for her unsupervised actions is massive. Their insurance is, well, let's just say they want this to go away. What does that mean? I asked. It means they're offering a settlement. It's not the full amount, not even close, but it's $150,000, and they'll pay all of my legal fees. $150,000. It was a fraction, but it was. It was enough. Enough to be comfortable. Enough not to eat canned soup. I'll take it, I said. I hung up the phone. I hadn't won. Not really. Then the phone rang again. It was Mark. Hey, Dad. I'm off work. I was thinking I could come over. Maybe pick up some groceries. I was thinking I could finally fix that leaky faucet for you. My throat got tight. Yes, son, I said. That sounds real good. It's 2 months later. I'm not in the beige apartment anymore. The settlement was enough. I found a small, clean cottage. In my old neighborhood. I can walk to the same park Mary and I used to. It's Sunday. My new place smells like roasted chicken. Mark is here. His sleeves are rolled up and he's lying on his back under my kitchen sink. There's a grunt and the sound of a wrench tightening. He slides out, wiping his hands on a rag. All set, Dad. No more drip. Thanks, son, I say, handing him a glass of water. We sit at the table. It's quiet. A good quiet. They're offering her a plea deal. 2 years, minimum. They're calling it elder fraud. I just nod. Mark looks at me, his eyes clear for the first time in years. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry I didn't see it. I'm so sorry I let her. You see it now. That's what matters. He nods. He picks up the carving knife. You hungry, Dad? I look at him. My son. My good, kind, free son. I didn't get my money back, not all of it, but I got my son back. And that's worth more than anything she ever took. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, comment, and smash the subscribe button. Also check out other videos on the channel. Joe's got more interesting stories for you.